Do you actually have a vision for what you want in your life? The only way we can ask for something is if we know what we want. You know what we talk about here. You got to have that vision. You got to write it down. You got to know what's up ahead. You know, some of the things he was talking about in there, you know why sometimes I think we stop asking? This is just my own personal opinion. But you know why we stop asking God or we just stop asking in general for things is because we've been disappointed in the past. Is because when we did ask for something back when we were 7, when we were 9, when we were 12, when we were 17, when we were 21, when we were 28, when we were 32, like whenever back then we like were asking for something and it just never happened and we just kind of gave up asking. We just kind of gave up believing, believing, belief, thinking, right? Understanding that this could be. This is why we talk about this all the time about your ability to continue to look forward, continue to have a vision, continue to look ahead. Therefore, you can be excited about things that are up ahead instead of thinking about the things that have failed you in the past, the things that haven't, come to fruition in the past, the things you asked for that you haven't gotten yet. That doesn't mean we stop asking. That doesn't mean that we stop the process of saying, this is what I want. This is where we're headed. This is right where we're going. But I think that's personal opinion that I think that that's why people stop asking is we get discouraged when we don't see it happen in our time. So we stop. It's kind of like our personal growth. When we say we're going to do something and then we don't see it really happen. I say I'm going to lose 50 pounds and then it doesn't happen. I say I'm going to stop, drinking or smoking, but it doesn't happen. And then we go back. I say that I'm going to do this and then it doesn't happen. Well, that discourages us. And then we take that in as that's who we are. That's what, and we stop moving forward. We can't do that, ladies and gentlemen. You and I, all of us that are listening to this, we're going off to design our ideal life. The only way you do that is by continuing to think about and ask for what it is that you want, which assumes that you know what you want, that your vision is clear. But you have not because maybe you ask not. Maybe you don't have everything that you want because maybe you stop asking for it. You just hoped, prayed that it's just going to fall on you. Got to keep asking. Got to keep knocking. All right. So, a couple things Steve Harvey said in there. He kind of broke that up into 3 different ones. That last part was just about thinking bigger. It's yes, you have not because you asked not, but you might also not be thinking big enough. He gave the example of you just asking to get your rent paid. That's great. Have you ever thought about asking for a mansion? Have you ever thought about asking for abundance of land? Have you ever thought about asking for what are those things called? A compound, right? A compound where you and your family all live, where you have multiple sources, or you ask a big God for real small things. I just need a little bit of this. Maybe we're just not thinking big enough. Maybe you need to stretch your vision. Maybe you need a vision board. Maybe you need to see more of life so that you can ask for more instead of asking for the little. So maybe that's a lesson, and we just got to start thinking bigger. How big are you thinking about your life? How big are you thinking about your generations? Curious. That was kind of the message towards the end. Message in the middle, stuff you hear me say all the time. If you change your thinking, you change your life. Once you understand this principle, the reason why I keep drilling this over and over for y'all, because it will show up in every single area of your life. You have some stinking thinking. We all do. We all have limiting beliefs in every area of our life. It's not isolated, it's every area. You have to identify those things. Then you have to go to work unlearning and relearning new things to change the thinking in there. Then your life changes. Then the outcomes that you want will happen. When you change your thinking around your relationships, you become a different person inside of your relationship, which you know what that does? That changes then the relationship you have. If you change your thinking, these are success principles. This is why I read out of 177 mental toughness secrets of the world class. These are just principles of success. This is not me making this stuff up. This is why I constantly put people that you know or respect or you see or you've heard of in front of you so you can understand like this is just the way it is. You can get in front of many, many successful people. And remember, when we use that word success, y'all, success in any area, not just financial success, that is one form of success, but having success in your health, having success in your relationships. This is all of, if you don't have good relationships, if you don't know how to maintain good relationships, you probably have some stinking thinking around relationships, around people, around interactions, around trust, around lying, like whatever. That's probably the basis why you don't have good relationships. So you got to change your thinking around it. Same thing with your health, same thing with your money, same thing with your business. Like it's all the same. Once you learn the principles, then you just apply the principles and you keep applying them over and over again and your life changes. Talk about gratitude, but here it is in the text, the 177 mental toughness secrets in the world class. Again, these are principles. We're not just kind of, everyone kind of knows these things that are successful and then they do them. I just want y'all to do them. I want you to practice these things every day because that's going to get you to the life that you want. But what it says on here, the world class connects to the source through gratitude. Steve Harvey just talked to you about gratitude is the reason why I have what I have and I will continue to have more, is because we're grateful. Two things can be true at the same time, y'all. You can think bigger and ask for more, and you can be grateful for what you have. Like it's not an either or. Sometimes we get that wrong. Sometimes like, oh, I'm not being humble if I'm not great. At least I have a job. At least I have this. At least, but then we stop asking for. It's both and. Yes, I'm grateful for what I have now. I'm grateful for what I've been blessed with. I'm grateful for the relationships and the finances and all. I'm grateful for all those things. And I want this. I want more. I want like both are true. So you have to be able to operate out of both sides if you want to be great, if you want to get to world class level. It's not either or. Right? So here's what it says in the text. Here's what it says in the text. It says, the world class is famous for using nonlinear thinking as a primary problem solving strategy, and nowhere is this more apparent than when it comes to heightening their creativity. While amateurs become increasingly stressed during problem solving, the great ones become more relaxed to enhance their creative ability. Champions know the ultimate creative force is located somewhere beyond our everyday consciousness, and they must tap into this source to generate their best ideas. The secular sometimes refer this source as the unconscious mind. The spiritual often call it God. Whatever label their beliefs warrant, few deny the power of the source, whatever its point of origin. Champions know the fastest way to connect to the source is through gratitude. Champions know the fastest way to connect to the source is through gratitude. Thoughts and feelings of gratitude seem to elevate the performer's consciousness to a higher plane than is accessible through any other means. Professional writers call it being connected. Athletes call it being in the zone. Psychologists refer to this as a state of flow. No matter what the name you assign to it, the experience is the same. It's a process that begins by letting go and mentally detaching from the end result or outcome of any task. The focus is on being as opposed to doing. The focus is on being as opposed to doing. While both amateurs and pros experience this phenomenon from time to time, the great ones are able to access it much more often because they are aware of the triggers that create a mental climate conducive to this state of mind. Gratitude is the mindset of choice when they need to awaken the giant and tap their genius. Gratitude is the mindset of choice. Are you choosing gratitude every day? This gets you connected to God. This is what Steve Harvey just told you. I don't even know if Steve Harvey ever read this book. But again, the book, just so you guys know, Steve Siebold, 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class, he just went and interviewed the most successful people in the world, the most successful people in all areas. And he collected, these are the commonalities that they all had. These were the common things. So it's not a coincidence that you hear Steve Harvey talk about gratitude. You probably hear some other people talk about gratitude, like a Jay Shetty And now you read it in a book and it says, oh no, like this is the mindset of choice, like to really tap into connecting to God, to connecting to a higher level of consciousness, to being able to actually be in a state that allows you to get to the life that you want, to do the things that you want, to become successful. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. These are the things that you and I have to practice. So when I tell you and I encourage you every morning to wake up and start your day with gratitude, every single day, that's a choice. Sure, some days you forget. Sure, some days, right, you slept in late, you woke up you groggy, whatever the case is, you're rushing, something happened, you didn't get to do it. But like, that's a choice. Like, you choose that. You choose to wake up, open your eyes, and say, man, I'm so grateful for whatever. Tony Robbins says one of his exercises is he wakes up and writes a gratitude journal every morning. Three people he's grateful for, five things he's grateful for, something like that. Sends it out to the people that he is thinking about, writes it down every day. But imagine starting your day every single day connecting to the source through gratitude, connecting to God through gratitude. That is a practice. And if you practice this, it'll change your life. Why? Because now you're going to be able to see more things that you're grateful for. Where our focus goes, our energy flows. If we focus on these things, if you are intentional about focusing on the things you're grateful for, throughout the day, you're going to see more things that you're grateful for because you started your day with it. Now it's going to permeate the rest of your day. But if you start your day on the other side with worry, with fear, with anxiety, with rushing, with what you got to do, get done, all that stuff, that's why your day becomes chaotic and it's hard to get it back on track. It's because now that's where your focus has gone. So that's where your energy is going. So that's what now you're going to see throughout the day. Doesn't mean it's there more. It just means you see it more. It's a difference. Doesn't mean that there's more fear, worry, anxiety, things to be worried about in your life. It just means you see it more. When I started practicing this of gratitude, I started becoming more grateful throughout the day. I started to be able to find more areas in my life of gratitude. I found myself just thinking about something that I'm grateful for, something that happens in the day where naturally it's like that's just a part of the day. I'm now thinking about, man, I'm so grateful that I'm in this position. Man, I'm so grateful that I can do this. It's the way it goes. This morning, today's my daughter's birthday. She's turning 8. Wake up this morning, spend some time with her, just in our time talking, daddy-daughter time, just hanging out and kind of in devotion, in and out. And I just stopped and was like, just stared at her. I'm like, man, I'm so grateful I get to do this. So grateful I get to spend some time with her at this age. It's a big deal. You don't know how much your life changes. You don't understand how much your life changes when you just practice some of these things. Like if you just practice it, again, it's work, y'all. This is work. It's not going to just happen to you. It's work to unlearn and relearn and to put in good things. It's work to eat healthy. It's work to make money. It's work to get your relationships good. It's work to get closer spiritually to God. Like it's work. Like you have to put things in. If you're unwilling to do that, we're not going to get to the life that we don't need a break from. We're not going to get to that ideal life. But if you're willing to do the work, little things like let's just focus on gratitude. Let's just take the rest of this month every day and start our gratitude journal. Let's just take every single day in the month of June to just write down the things that we're grateful for every single morning. Like, what if we just intentionally did that? I promise you, the latter part of your summer will feel better. It will feel better to you. There might not be a ton of things that change, but it'll feel better to you. And that's what you got to do. You got to feel good in order to do good things, y'all. Here's what it says, the action step for today. Make a list of the 10 things you're most grateful for in your life and review them every morning for the next 7 days. Monitor how this activity impacts your emotions. Watch how it changes you. If you change your thinking, you start changing your habits, it changes your life. It changes your life. Thank you, y'all, for the happy birthdays to my daughter. She's super excited. And that I'm grateful for our connection with you and the connection being here. Darlene, trust me, I understand you're gonna change the way that you pray because we gotta keep asking for things. We gotta keep asking. There's so much that God wants to bless you with. There's so much that He wants to give you. There's so much that He wants you to have. He just knows you don't have the capacity for it yet. He's not gonna dump all this good stuff on you and then it breaks you. He wants to build the capacity in you to handle this life that you're asking for. That's what this work is. That's why you guys are connected here. That's why you're on these mindset calls. Now you got to go out there and do the work yourself, y'all. I love you guys. I want you to win. You deserve it. Your families deserve it. Go out there, do something that scares you, pushes you out of your comfort zone, changes you to the man or woman that God called you to be. Today is your day to go do that. I love you guys. I'll see you on Friday. Take care.